Hi everyone, welcome to Nurture Today, Impact Tomorrow. This channel is to help people learn to tune into themselves, to become one with yourself, to nurture yourself, to love yourself, to feel good about yourself. These are all strategies. The more we have in our toolbox, the better it is we can navigate through life. Our toolbox, something's going on, we can pull it out. And then we can use these skills, these tools, to help us move forward so we don't get stuck in life. And it's also beneficial for us to do this so that we can help other people in the long run, because the service to others and serving humanity is the ultimate goal, in which will help us become a cool person and to give back. Because in life we eventually receive things and we eventually give back. It's a big cycle. It's a cycle of life. So in this video today, I'm talking about addiction. So addiction, it's been a huge part of my life. I've had addiction to, I was a heavy smoker at one point, and cigarettes, and then I was also addicted to working. I worked numerous jobs all the time, and I was just constantly working. I had also addiction to shopping at one point. Also had addiction to Netflix. It's like a new age addiction. So what's going on with people who have addictions? People think, why can't these losers just get a job or just to do something better with their life? But no, addiction is masking some kind of deep core issue, and it's a way of avoiding things that are painful to us that we don't want to see. Another viewpoint of addiction is it's the opposite of connection. It's disconnection. So the opposite of it would be learning how to connect with people. So there's a book that I highly recommend for people who want to read. It's called The Globalization of Addiction by Bruce Alexander. And it basically talks about how people become dislocated. For example, if you think of the term dislocation, for example, when your shoulder becomes dislocated, it's out of the socket. It's not functioning at its optimal level. So it's kind of like that. When we have addiction, we get dislocated from where we truly are in our life. For example, we become dislocated from our friends, from our family. We become aliens of society. And it doesn't have to be that way. No, it doesn't have to be that way. We can learn how to reconnect and be a part of society, because everybody has a gift to share. And by hiding out and drowning in your sorrows and things that you don't want to see in life, we are not helping the world in any ways. Playing small does not serve humanity in that kind of aspect. But addiction can also happen to anybody, unfortunately, given enough stress and lack of support in their life. Addiction can happen to anybody. Somebody could be doing well, and then you take away things that have been meaningful for them, then it can create a recipe for addiction, for example. Addiction is a very, very painful process, and people might think that it's perceived to be thought that it's a maladaptive way of coping. Actually, it is quite adaptive. There's a purpose that it serves. It's meeting some kind of need that the person is unable to meet themselves or unaware of. For example, for me, when I was in my addiction, I was deeply depressed, and I felt worthless. I didn't have a certain percentage of self-esteem to believe in myself, and it was one of my needs, was learning how to believe in myself and loving myself as a person. So as a result, addiction filled that void. So the opposite of addiction would be connection. So getting out there trying to connect with things and people. And one of the things that helped me the most was connecting to nature. So coming out, for example, I'm here at the Buddhist temples. I'm here at the park, at the garden, and it's quite beautiful. I feel connected to the air, to the ground, to the scenic nature, the trees, the landscape. It's quite beautiful, and it's quite relaxing for my soul and for my spirit. So I like to come here. And it's one of the ways that I overcome addiction was through spirituality, believing in something greater. And another way of counteracting the addiction is to let it go. Just let it go and believe that there's something much greater for you out there, and that you don't have to suffer alone anymore. The first step is to step out of denial, is to move out of it and say, hey, you know what, I do have an addiction. I've got this concern that I have, and I want to move forward from it. So just learning to tune into yourself and say, hey, all right, how can I move forward from this? How has this been affecting my life? Because one of the definitions of addiction is that it interferes with your life. So it could be all sorts of addiction. It could be gambling. It could be working. As long as it interferes with your life. There's positive addictions. For example, people have addiction to, for example, reading or to yoga. There's some positive addictions as well. You know, so it all depends on your perspective too, and how you view the addiction and your relationship with addiction. Like, let's say Netflix isn't that bad. It's actually quite informative, and you learn a lot of things within limitations. But the way I was doing it, I was watching like so many shows at once. But it's kind of like part of that addiction. It's like you just want to watch one more episode. You're like, okay, one more episode. And next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm only getting 2-3 hours of sleep and I have to go to work. I would probably talk more in the future about addiction from another perspective. I think I hope this is helpful for anybody who's struggling with addictions. And there is a way, there is hope, there's always hope. You just have to believe in it. And then from believing it, stepping out of it slowly with support. If anybody wants to leave any comments or messages down below, feel free to do so. I'd be happy to get back to you. Thank you everybody for your time and for listening. I really appreciate it. If you like this, you want to share with other people, feel free to do so. Thank you very much. Namaste.